Sweet. Welcome. My name is Andrew, and this is my student portfolio. Some stuff about me. I'm a creative technologies major with a minor in business. Interesting fact, I did not come in as a creative technologies major. I was undeclared. And then an upperclassman CRT major recommended that I take 101. So it kind of coincides with my interests. I love technology. I love hands-on learning. I love being creative. So the next year, I decided to declare creative technology as a major. So that was great. Secondly, I've experienced with the BIS program here at Berry. I was a multimedia assistant for 2 years here. Basically, being a multimedia assistant, you were tasked with going to the classrooms, fixing any problems that there may have been with the sound system, projectors, DVD players, projectors, anything like that. Basically finding a solution to that problem. Also during that LifeWorks program, I completed certifications, specifically in Word and PowerPoint. I would definitely say that that greatly helped my college career with creative technologies and also in the business minor. Some personal hobbies of mine. I said the top of the totem pole is weightlifting. I love being active. I love bettering myself. And as you'll see during this presentation, you'll see why that's number one. And then the second and third, gaming, hang out with friends. I love to do anything with anybody. I love hanging out, whether it be taking a weekend trip to like a city or taking a day trip during the day somewhere. I just love hanging out. So my theme is utilizing computer aided design to develop products and components. Before I came to Berry, before I was in the creative technology program, I had no idea what CAD software was. I had no idea what Fusion 360 was. We were introduced a little bit in 101 on what it was and how it worked. But it was just a small portion of what there is in Fusion 360. And it just, as I continued my years in the creative technology program, I just learned more and more skills, more and more techniques I could use to build something, create something in software. And it just spurred my love for it even more. I hope to continue it after graduation. So the first project I want to talk about is the Mighty Mouse, aka the Crimson Glider. So the purpose was to help facilitate the introduction to ergonomic and 3D design. This was actually in the advanced prototyping class, probably one of my favorite projects, and it was the first one actually. But on the left right here, you can see the mouse kind of split in half, to make translucent so you can see through it, just like how the different parts were created in the software. It just shows how many like details and how many fine-tuned things that goes into building something. One thing I liked about this project was the fact that we could do it to wherever fit our needs. If you wanted to make a bigger mouse, you can make a bigger mouse. If you want to make a smaller mouse, you can make a smaller mouse. I like to have a mouse that fits in my hand and a little slick. So that's why I created this one. On the right, you can see finished product. I really like how the colors went in, how the aesthetics look, red and black. It's probably one of my two favorite colors, so I decided to combine those. But I really like the hero image in the middle. It really shows how slick and clean it looks. But not only that, it's also functional. So whenever I need to use a mouse on computer, I can just grab this and then use it. The second project I want to talk about is the Fusion squat rack model. The purpose was to apply all the skills learned in the Fusion class to develop a final project that aligns to their personal interests. I love the idea of bringing everything I learned in the Fusion 360 class and also my love of weightlifting into a final project. As you can see on the left, you see basically the foundation, how it's like split up. You have the clips on the inside, the weights, the plates on the outside, and the support system on the bottom. I'm gonna go to the next one. So these are very important. So I wanted to design it as closely as the real life version as possible. Not everyone is the same height, so I decided that was an influential part to add retractable clips in the design, just like you would do if you were either short or tall in the gym. And then the second piece, so these are the support systems. So let's say you're doing a rep and you fail it. You will use these to let the bar rest on it so it won't crash into the floor. So that was a very important piece to add as well in the design. But as you can see on the right, this is the schematic drawing. I wanted to keep the measurements as close as possible to a real life version. So if someone wanted to replicate this design, they would just look at the schematic drawing and see in the different views, aerial, side, slide to slide, of how it would look and how you would recreate this. This is what it looks like in the final piece, the hero image. I really like the Fusion's ability to apply appearances on the different objects to make it pop out and make it look clean. I really enjoyed that aspect of that when doing this project. The third project I want to talk about is the Fusion bench press model. So the purpose was utilizing rapid prototyping skills to create a project of interest. The thing about this project is I had a time constraint. It was during my senior exit hackathon, actually. So I built this whole model in under 4 hours. On the left, you can see how it looked like spread apart. So if you go to the Cage Center, this is pretty much the exact replica of what it looks like in the Cage Center. You have the plates on the side while having the peg supporting it as well. Also, I added the curve design as you would see in the Cage Center, while also adding the clips right here on the right, to make sure that when you're done finishing rep, the bar sits stably on the clip, because you don't want it crushing yourself or either toppling on one side or the other. So I thought it was an important piece. And this was actually the hardest part of this project. It took me quite a while to figure out. And then this is just the aerial view of it if you're looking from the top. The bench, the plates, and the clip. And then again, I utilized Fusion's appearance to make it look really good and clean. I really liked how it came out in under 4 hours. So the fourth one I want to talk about is the Plasma Star. The purpose was to develop skills in Fusion while introducing the CAM environment and use of CNC machines. Before, this was actually in a robotics class, and before this, I had no idea what the CAM environment was. I had no idea how CNC machines interacted with Fusion, how you could use it to make something like the thing you see on the left. So I made a little design right there, and then also cut additional 2 pegs on each side. And behind it, you can see these supports right here. I actually utilize the metal bender to bend it so that it will sit upright on a flat surface. But on the right, you can see basically like the CAM design. So an important piece about this that Chris and Zane heavily implemented, and that I keep thinking whenever I use a CNC machine, is to start from the inside out. This is because if you start on the outside, the piece that you're trying to cut could bend or move or tilt in a design you didn't want it to be. So I always keep that in mind whenever I'm using this environment. I start from the inside out. As you can see, I started with the design in the middle, and then the outside. If it wasn't for this project, I would not know what the CAM environment was or how it was used in CNC machines. So now we'll get to my capstone project for this semester. I had the advocacy pathway and focus on injuries in the weight room. So in the beginning half, I did a lot of interviewing and research. I picked 3 of the people I see the most in the gym, and individuals are Hunter, Juan, and Duncan. And basically set time in my schedule, set time in their schedules, because we're all busy, and just met and discussed different questions. Some of the questions highlighted: when did you begin your journey in weightlifting? How long have you been weightlifting? What injury did you occur while weightlifting? And the recovery process for those injuries. After I completed all those questions and interviewed them, I dove in further research of their injuries. because I found it was very important to find out what they were dealing with and how they recovered from those specific injuries. For Hunter's case, he had a groin injury, and that's very different from Juan, who had a shoulder delt injury, and then Duncan had elbow and shoulder injuries that he dealt with. So I thought it was very important to focus in on these details. So for the personal research, I did my research. I went online and looked for the tips for the beginner lifters. In my case, I didn't really have anyone to look up to or any tips on how to begin my journey. I want to provide that for others who want to start off their journey, so they're not lost like I was. So design the website. This was definitely the hardest part of the capstone. Thanks to Callista, who was in my committee. We dove in and basically figured out all the details that I needed, what the layout was, the formation. On the left, you can see different files I used. I just wanted to organize everything before I started working. And just make sure I had what I want in the specific places. This is the cover page, introduction page. Right now, it's just the template. I just wanted to put placeholders just to signify where I wanted things to be in the final version. And then this will be the main page where I put the 3 individuals, their headshots, their names, and their individual summaries. Continuing on, this is in the middle part. You can see I filled in those headshots of the different people that I interviewed, did their names and different summaries, and also had the 3 different links to go to their individual page. This is just an example for all three. All 3 of them have the same format, but this is Hunter's. Basically, it has the name on the top left, a hamburger menu to on top right to go through the different links. The picture, the name, and then the small summary of who they are and what injury they occurred. And if you scroll down, you will have, I decided it would be smart to divide everything in 4 different categories: background, injury, recovery, and then closing. Basically, all the information I got from the interviews, I decided to compile and put in those different categories, while also highlighting different quotes in the middle on what popped out during the interview with them and what they wanted to share. This is what it looks like now. This is now the intro page, advocacy in the weight room, a little thesis introducing what you would see in the website. You go to the link, and you go to the 3 headshot pages. And you also will, so this is the bottom, what the bottom page looks like, the recovery and closing process. This is, so all 3 of them, when I was interviewing them, got their injuries from doing incorrect form from a YouTube video. And I really want to highlight that because you don't want to just watch one video and think you know it all. You want to do ample amount of research, watch multiple videos, watch multiple articles, or not watch, read multiple articles, and basically combine all of those and figure out what you want to, what's the proper form is for the different exercises you want to use. And those are attached to each one of the pages. These are the beginner tip pages. These are just 3 highlighting what I thought is important for new lifters to learn. So what's next? I'm still searching for opportunities in the CAD and product design world. These are some of the different designs I have done in the Fusion 360 class. This was actually $399. But I have a real interest in CAD design and product design, and I want to continue to do that after graduation. I'm still searching for opportunities. But yeah, I just want to further those and not just let me graduating Berry College signify the end of that. Thank you. Any questions?